Hey everybody, this is Dan with Pain For You, painforyou.com, Pain For You on Facebook and YouTube. Are you distracted? Are you distracted by your pain? Are you distracted by your symptoms? Are you distracted? Well, the way to answer that question is to ask yourself where most of your mental energy is going towards. Where's most of your focus? What do you pay attention to the most? Are you paying attention to the symptoms and the pain most of the day? Is that top of mind first thing when you wake up, last thing when you go to sleep, and every moment in between? Or are you trying to heal? You know, have you made trying to heal your pain or symptoms your full-time job? You know, if you have now made this TMS world be the most important thing to you, you spend all your time in the Facebook groups, you spend all your time watching my videos, which I'm flattered, but don't do it all day long. Are you distracted? And what the hell am I talking about there? Well, if you go back to the original, Dr. Sarno, he indicated that the pain is created by the brain to distract us from emotions that the subconscious brain has learned are scary, dangerous, overwhelming, unacceptable, don't fit with our own self-image, and thereby dangerous. So the brain creates a distraction called symptoms. You know, and it's got a whole bunch of names. You've got TMS, you've got stress illness, you've got PPD, you've got mind-body syndrome, MBS, you know, you've got distraction pain, all of them. It's all talking about the same exact stuff. So if the vast majority of your mental energy and attention and focus is either on the symptoms and getting pissed off about the symptoms, or angry or frustrated with the symptoms, or sad that this poor me, how come this happened to me, and what did I do to deserve this, you're absolutely, completely, and utterly distracted. And the best use of your time and mental energy is to understand that TMS is nothing more than a distraction. There's nothing wrong, nor was there ever anything wrong with your body. And so when I ask people, so what are your emotions? And all they say is, I'm pissed off at the freaking pain. Okay, what else? Right? I just posted that a couple of days ago. What else? It's a really, really good question to ask yourself. What else was going on when the pain started? First go around, what was going on the various times when the pain spiked? You know, look for some connections there. Connect the dots between your emotional world and the onset or flare-up of symptoms. And look beyond the pain. Look, you already consciously know that you're upset with the symptoms and the fact that you're hurting, or you've got other weird symptoms going on, whether it be fatigue, burning, tingling, numbness, weakness, sharp pains, dull pains, throbbing pains, muscle spasms. Look, we all know. You're already consciously aware of the fact that those emotions surround the pain. But when you go to sit down and do the emotional discovery, if the only thing that's really coming up is your emotions about the pain, sorry to say, but you're still totally distracted. The distraction mechanism is working flawlessly. And so I will encourage you to dig deeper. Ask yourself, or actually, if you want to be pissed off at the pain, do that the first couple minutes of the emotional discovery work every day. Fine, get it out. But afterwards, you got to go, all right, what's behind that? What are my symptoms and my pains distracting me from? Could it be that they're distracting you from some overwhelming negative emotions about people you love that you feel you shouldn't have? So I did a video a while back called The Conflict That Causes TMS, right? The conflict are these emotions, very, very strong emotions: anger, rage, sadness, guilt, shame, fear, jealousy. These really strong emotions, but they're about the people we care about the most: our parents, our kids, our spouse. And we've got this conflict that goes, I can't do that, because if I allow myself to feel angry at my spouse, I'm going to blow up my marriage. And what's that going to mean for my kids? I can't feel that. And so we run away from those emotions. And those are oftentimes, the conflict emotions are oftentimes the ones that we least want to acknowledge, that we least want to recognize. And so the pain comes about and keeps us very well distracted. We don't think about those conflicting emotions. We don't think about how angry we are at our husband or our wife or our kids or our parents, right? Because we believe that that makes us a bad person. It really doesn't. It just makes us human. But are you distracted? Are you completely and utterly focused on your pain or your symptoms? And if you are, you're not paying attention to my videos where I say, don't care, attitude of indifference. Don't give a shit about the pain or the symptoms. Because brain science, our brain will keep wired that which we put most of our attention towards. So if you're waking up and thinking about the pain and thinking about it all day long, monitoring it, managing it, being pissed off about it all day until the moment you fall asleep, you're instructing the brain to keep it wired. You are utterly distracted by the pain. So the goal of this work is not to try to heal, right? Don't try to heal. Don't try to end the pain. What your goal should be is to seek out and find what the pain is distracting you from, right? Because the distraction is really just a bully saying, look over here, don't pay attention to those emotions. Look over here, look over here. Well, if you try to fix this over here thing, you're never going to get to the root of it. So your primary goal in doing any of this pain-for-you process, I'll call it, is to simply, 1, know what TMS is. It's a distraction. 2, determine that you've got it. 3, do the emotional discovery of the things that your brain and your pain is trying to distract you from. You're not doing this to heal the pain. You're doing it to find out what the pain is there to distract you from, what emotions are too overwhelming, scary, dangerous. And once you do that, the brain will go, they found the thing I was trying to distract them from, so I don't need this pain anymore. And another way to really supercharge this whole thing, or make it possible in the first place, is to really develop that attitude of indifference. Don't care about the pain. Take the whatever attitude. Yes, I'm hurting. Yes, the pain is screaming today. But you can either lay on the floor thrashing around and screaming, oh my God, my life is over, I'm going to be in a wheelchair in 2 years. Or you can say, oh, here we go again. Yeah, I had this a week ago and I survived it, so I guess I'll survive today too. But wow, it's pretty bad. Got it. So shift. So what is this pain really trying to protect me from? What is this pain really trying to distract me from? And when you can find this well or this reservoir of rage, oftentimes it's anger and rage. That's what Sarno figured out. When we can find that reservoir of rage and anger that we've been running away from and avoiding, and combine that with not caring about the symptoms or the pains, the pain can let go pretty darn quickly. It really can. And honestly, I'm really thinking that the indifference to the symptoms is as big, if not more so important, than the emotional discovery work. Because think about it, if there's a bully on the playground and he's picking on, yelling at, and picking on that little Billy, and little Billy just says, whatever, I'm going to have a good time anyway, and he goes about his day and just doesn't pay attention to the bully, eventually the bully is going to stop picking on him. So if you want to think of your pain as a bully that's just trying to distract you from what's really important, which is knowing yourself, giving yourself permission to feel these emotions, even the dark, scary ones that your brain has decided long ago are dangerous. For me, a big breakthrough was realizing that the person I was most upset with was myself. Go there in your journaling or in your emotional work. Make sure you allow yourself to feel emotions that you've got towards yourself, your disappointments, the things you should have done, that you're angry with yourself, the regrets you've got. I'm not saying dwell on them. I'm not saying ruminate on them, because that can kind of depress you pretty quickly. But at least during this emotional discovery, make sure to touch on things about yourself. It's really, really important. And also realize, for me, the emotions that I was most afraid of were the ones that did not fit with who I believed I was. So my dad was a pretty angry guy, and I vowed at an early age I'm never going to be like him, right? So I always was the happy-go-lucky guy. Nothing ever bothered me. And I was always kind of cheering my mom up, who had some bouts of depression, and I was just the happy kid. So when I was married, had a child of my own, money was tight, horrible commute, job that was stressful. It was decent, but it was still stressful. Changing diapers, all that stuff. And, you know, basically life and being an adult wasn't exactly pleasant. The anger that I felt at having to be responsible and be an adult didn't fit with who I thought I was. I'm supposed to be the happy guy who never let anything bother me. And so when the marriage started showing some signs of not being perfect, and I had anger, I just locked it up. And it seemingly insignificant stuff now as I look back at it, but you accumulate that stuff, and you now understand where you get this reservoir of rage. You take 1,000 instances of anger that you completely run away from and ignore. You just lock it down in the basement. Very quickly, it becomes this massive reservoir of rage. And so, don't try to heal. Don't make your entire day about healing. I don't even like that word, but it seems to be commonly used in this TMS community. All we're trying to do is teach the brain that emotions are safe. And that's a core principle I teach. Emotions are safe. They make you human, even the dark, scary, dangerous ones, or perceived as dangerous ones. But they're all still really safe. Look at the ones that don't fit in with your self-image. If you think you're a super nice, kind person, well, anger might not fit with that. Doesn't mean you don't have anger. You probably do. So are you distracted? I would venture to say yes. What are you distracted from? Spend some time there. Forget the symptoms. They'll go away on their own once you figure this shit out. They'll go away on their own once you stop caring about them. They'll go away on your own once you actually give yourself permission to feel what you're really feeling. You're a human being. You're supposed to get angry if things are happening that piss people off. Locking them up doesn't make you a better person. Ignoring anger does not make it go away. It just goes into that reservoir of rage. All right? The more we resist emotions, the stronger they get. Emotions just want to be felt. So look, this goal is not about healing your pain. The goal of this work is to find and potentially deal with your emotions. Feel them. Soothe yourself afterwards. Let the emotions go. How long are you going to hold on to these emotional charges from things that happened to you yesterday, a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago? We get to decide these things. And letting go of a past trauma is not repression. It's literally saying, I have suffered with that emotional charge for most of my life, and I am choosing now to let that go. I am choosing not to spend my days, weeks, months, years ruminating on all the bad shit that ever happened to me. I'm choosing to feel these emotions, let them release, and then move on and focus on today. Focus on right now. You can't change the past, but you can change your reaction to it. So, are you distracted? If you are, don't spend your days and weeks and months and years ahead being mad at the symptoms or being frustrated and how did this happen and what did I do to deserve this? No, no, no. Forget about the symptoms. They're just the distraction. What are they distracting you from? Shift to that, and you will and you can get better. So what do you guys think? Please comment below. Share this video widely if you know somebody who can benefit by it. Are you distracted? I would say most of us, to a certain degree, are a lot of the time, if not all the time. So I'm trying to get you to shift towards what matters, which is feeling the emotions that your pain or symptoms are distracting you from. So with that, love you guys and gals. See you later, and talk to you in the next video. Thanks.